It's an honor to second this motion on the appointment of the cabinet secretaries. Mr. Speaker, I would like first to congratulate you for taking time to guide the committee throughout all those many days and spending many hours actually to chair the meeting and to guide the committee until we produce the final report. I would also like to thank the leader of majority and the leader of minority and the teams that came in to form the appointment committee of this House for sitting for those many hours, and the staff of Parliament who braved many hours to ensure that we were able to produce this report. Mr. Speaker, this report is pursuant to Article 152 of the Constitution, where the President has the power to nominate cabinet secretaries, but also it is paramount that Parliament vests them, looks at them, and eventually nominates them for appointment by the President. In his wisdom, Mr. Speaker, in his wisdom, the President chose to pick Kenyans to run the cabinet, Kenyans from all walks of life. In his balance, he looked at regional balance, he looked at gender, he looked at the whole country and said, this is the team that I would like to work with to move this country forward. Honorable Speaker, when you look at the cabinet that President William Ruto appointed, he put everybody there. He looked at politicians, gave them some slots. He looked at technocrats, gave them some slots. So when we were vetting them with the perspective and the prism that these are Kenyans from a different walk of life and they would present themselves differently at the vetting table. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, when the appointments committee looks at them, what law do they use? They use the Public Appointments Act, which is an act that allows us to look at certain aspects. What is their education background? Do they qualify in terms of their diversity? Do they qualify in terms of the qualifications that the President has looked at? And if you look at all these cabinet secretaries that were nominated by the President, you see people, Kenyans who are ready to serve this country as they presented themselves during vetting. Mr. Speaker, the issues that the minority report brings out on the nomination of one Aisha Jumwa and Mitika Linturi, the report, if you look at the main report, it actually is very clear on the findings of the committee on appointments. That one, the allegations against Aisha Jumwa have been dropped. The family itself withdrew the charges. The allegations against Mitika Linturi, these are cases that are civil cases, they're civil matters. Many of the members here in this house, in this chamber, have very many civil cases out there. But they do not impede them from doing their work as honorable members. Even if you look at the past cabinet, very many of them had civil matters, civil cases. They did not impede them from doing their work. The civil cases that are hanging around Mitika Linturi will not in any way impede him from doing his work. He had these cases even when he was a senator. But today, to try to crucify Mitika Linturi on the basis of civil matters is double speak on the members that have written the minority report. Even those members here that wrote the minority report themselves have civil cases. They have issues, but it doesn't impede them from doing their work. So today, to say that Mitika Linturi is unfit to hold public office because of civil matters, Mr. Speaker, is stating what is not right. Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
Order, Honorable Wandai.
Mr. Speaker, it's never my nature to interrupt colleagues while on the floor. But if you listen keenly to the Honorable Owen Baya, he has indicated that the members of the Committee on Appointments who have drafted dissenting or minority report have engaged in what he has termed as double speak. Mr. Speaker, I find that to be totally offensive and unparliamentary. So would you kindly ask Mr. Honorable Owen Baya to remain true to the calling of a parliamentarian and stick to the issues at hand and observe utmost decorum. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Owen,
I will stick to...
is entirely within the competence of any member of any committee
Thank
to
you.
dissent and write a minority report.
Thank you.
So don't cast aspersions against your colleagues.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would also like to thank colleagues because of the bipartisan approach to the work that we did. It was many hours, but we are able to agree on very many things and disagreed only on 3. And I think that is something that we would like to commend the committee. On the issue of Malonza, looking at her education background, her experience, and looking at the work that she has done for the many years that she has been in public service, I think she has done understanding work that prompted the president to say, this is somebody that we can work with in cabinet. This is somebody that can run a cabinet slot in this government. But during presentation, and as she presented herself, and many things happen when you face a barrage of cameras and very many people asking many questions. There are things that happen to people, and this happened to one Peninah Malonza. But should we condemn Peninah Malonza because of the 1.5 hours that she appeared before the committee?
Yes, there's a point of order. Is that Honorable Mbandi? Order, Honorable Bayer. Honorable Mbandi. Give Honorable Mbandi the microphone.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, really it wasn't my intention to interrupt Honorable Owen Bayer, who was moving, or rather seconding the motion. But Mr. Speaker, there is a procedure of moving and seconding motions in this House. We should not entertain where the mover and the seconder are moving the motion and they are like opposing the same motion. If the committee has agreed or has made a decision on rejecting a candidate or a nominee, then how does it come about that the same members, actually the mover and the seconder, are talking like they are faulting their own report, Mr. Speaker? It is confusing this House. Leave it to us, we will know what we will do with it. If we feel, like I'm sure many of us feel, that there is no way we are going to reject one member out of 24, we are going to approve them all. But you are the same people who have rejected. So don't give excuses. Don't look good. You have rejected that lady called Malonza. Please don't look good. Live with it, move the motion, second it properly, then leave it to us. Mr. Speaker, I find it completely out of order.
You've made your point.
Thank you.
Owen, you've heard the sentiments.
We will save her.
Mr. Speaker, the point I'm trying to make is our report should not condemn one Peninah Malonza. That after this report...
Yes, Honorable Mudenyo. Give Honorable Mudenyo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have tremendous respect to Honorable Bayer. We served with him here in the last parliament, and he came across as a very sober-minded and objective member of parliament. I do not know what has happened in the travel from Damascus to wherever it is. Honestly speaking, I can't understand what he's talking about. First of all, he is seconding the report. Secondly, in a way, he is opposing the report. Can he come straight forward and tell us that now they have changed their mind, they want to withdraw the report or amend the report so they do not talk about, they don't reject Malonza? Let's just come out. Stop beating around the bush, Honorable Bayer. You are beyond this. At your age and level of exposure, you are beyond this. Just eat the humble pie and tell us it was by mistake, we are coerced, but now we have changed our mind. We want to move the report in amended form. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Bayer.
Thank you very much. What I'm trying to do...
Avoid raising unnecessary passions in the House.
Mr. Speaker, what I would like to say is that I'm trying to buttress one thing, very simple, that the report as it is in the hands of the House. and the House will make a decision on the report. And that is what I'm saying. And therefore, in concluding my remarks, Mr. Speaker, I would urge this House to look at this report soberly, to look at the individuals that have been nominated soberly, give this country a cabinet as soon as possible so that this country can move. There are very many people there, the hustlers in this country, who are looking at an opportunity for this cabinet to start work. This cabinet has work cut for itself to move this economy from the point it is to the next level. Kenyans are suffering. There are very many Kenyans today who have very many pending bills. We need a new sheriff at Treasury. We need cabinet secretaries in the ministries so that they can move this country. The hustlers in this country are looking to the presidency of William Ruto to start working. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second this report. Thank you very much.